talk without his
You were
lawyer.
talking about your health condition. What exactly is wrong with you, sir?
I have
Health-wise?
congenital heart failure. Congestive heart failure is called. From the medication, you can tell. So they're basically trying to keep me alive. So when they calculate that I'm about to give up, that my heart's about to pack up, they will now say go. So when I go outside, I will die outside. That's what they're trying to do.
The medications they've been giving to you, has it not been working?
It's not working. If it's working, why would I have all these lumps underneath my...
And he has written a petition to the Nigerian Medical Association where they brought one quack doctor, somebody who's not a doctor, to treat him.
To come and try and treat.
The doctor now, they don't know
what they're doing. And they know they don't know what they're doing. Or else, why would I have this?
As long as it remains in DSS custody, I won't die with no trial.
I'm not.
Nnamdi Kanu has spoken again, and this time his words are shaking the table. He said something very strong. He said they want to release him only when he is about to die. My people, this statement is not small, and it has caused plenty talk everywhere. You know, Kanu has been in detention for a long time now since he was brought back to Nigeria in 2021, and since then, he has been facing court cases, charges, and one delay after another. But now, the matter has shifted to his health, and that is what is making the story more serious. Please, if you are watching, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. It helps us bring you more updates like this. So here is the main gist. His lawyers came out recently and said his health is getting worse inside DSS custody. They even wrote a letter directly to the DSS, asking them to allow him to be taken to a proper hospital because they believe he is not getting the treatment he needs. They are saying his condition has become too bad to ignore. They believe the care he is getting is not enough, and that is why they are worried. According to them, keeping him in custody without allowing medical treatment is dangerous. Now, when Kanu himself spoke, he made it very clear. He said the plan is to keep him locked up until his health completely fails, and then when it is too late, they will release him. My people, that is a very strong allegation. The DSS on their side did not just keep quiet. They responded, and they said those claims are not true. They said the idea that he is being treated by quacks or unqualified people is false. They insist that he has been getting attention, and that what the lawyers are saying is just to start things up. So now we have two stories clashing, the lawyers and Kanu saying one thing, the DSS saying another thing. Who should we believe? Please, if you are following this gist, like this video right now and subscribe, because I will continue to give you both sides of the story exactly as it is happening. Let's also talk about the court matter. The case itself has not ended. Just recently, the court shifted an important ruling date. This ruling is about what lawyers call a no-case submission, which means the defense is saying that the charges don't stand and should be struck out. The court fixed a new date for judgment on that point. So as we are talking now, this case is still moving forward, but very slowly, and these shifts in the calendar are making it drag on even longer. And while the legal process continues, the issue of health is now hanging like a big shadow over the whole case. When you look at the bigger picture, you will see why this is such a sensitive story. Nnamdi Kanu is not just an ordinary person, he is the leader of IPOB, a group that has millions of supporters, especially in the southeast. To his people, he is a symbol of freedom and self-determination. To the government, he is someone they labeled as a threat to national security. That is why every single development around him, whether it is a court date or a health report, becomes political and very sensitive. And this is why many people are saying the government should handle his case carefully, because any wrong step can spark bigger reactions. Please, my people, if you are still here enjoying this gist, don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe. It will help this channel grow so that we keep giving you the gist as it drops. Now let us go back to what the lawyers are demanding. They are not only talking about medical treatment. They are also asking the court to step in and make sure he gets independent medical attention. Because for them, it is not just about his rights as a detainee, but also about fairness in the judicial process. They argue that no one should be left to suffer while awaiting trial, especially in a case that has dragged for so many years. Their fear is that if something happens to him inside custody, the damage cannot be reversed. And that is why the quote, "They want to release me when I am about to die," hits so hard. It paints a picture of someone who feels abandoned and trapped. The DSS insists that he is fine. They keep repeating that the stories about his worsening health are exaggerated. They say he is being cared for and that the public should not be deceived by what they call propaganda. But you know how it is in Nigeria. Once two sides give different versions, people will always argue. Supporters will believe their leader, and government loyalists will trust the DSS. And that is why this gist keeps trending. One more angle you need to understand is the political weight of this matter. Over the years, there have been lawmakers, activists, and even international observers who have raised concerns about how Kanu's case is being handled. Human rights groups have warned that keeping someone in detention for too long without proper care can damage Nigeria's image globally. And now, with his health on the line, the pressure is only increasing. People are asking, will the government allow independent doctors to check him? Will the court step in more firmly? Or will it continue to drag while everyone just waits? Another thing that stands out is how this issue connects to Nigeria's wider problems. It is not just about one man, it is about how the system treats people, whether they are political figures or ordinary citizens. If someone like Kanu, who is known worldwide, is complaining that he is not getting proper care, then imagine what ordinary detainees are facing. This is why many civil society groups are saying his case is a test for Nigeria's justice system and human rights reputation. And my people, this is a point we cannot ignore. So, looking at what could happen next, there are a few scenarios. The court could decide to order that he be given hospital access, or even medical experts from outside DSS facilities. If that happens, it will calm some of the fears. On the other hand, if the DSS continues to deny those requests and insist that everything is fine, then the tension will only grow. Also, if the court makes rulings that dismiss some charges, the case may move in a different direction. But if it upholds everything the government is saying, then this battle could drag on even longer. Please guys, if you want me to keep updating you on how this matter plays out, make sure you like this video and subscribe now, because more news will come in the next few weeks and I want to be the first to break it down for you in simple words. In the end, this whole story shows us something very important. In Nigeria, politics, law, and health are mixing together in ways that affect everybody. Whether you support Kanu or not, you cannot deny that his words, "They want to release me when I am about to die," are powerful and worrying. It forces us to ask questions: is justice really being served? Is health being taken seriously in detention? And will this case ever come to a clear conclusion? And that, my people, is the full gist for today. I will stop here for now. If you want me to continue breaking this gist with more updates, let me know in the comments. But before you go, please, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it so that more people can understand what is really going on. Thank you so much for staying with me till the end. When we are talking about Nnamdi Kanu's matter, we cannot just look at Nigeria alone. The whole world is watching, and international human rights groups have been paying attention for years. Groups like Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and even some members of the United Nations have raised questions about how Nigeria handles high-profile political detainees. They often ask whether fair trial rights are respected, whether people get proper access to medical care, and whether prolonged detention is being used as punishment. Please, before I go deeper, don't forget to like this video and subscribe right now, so that you will not miss the next updates as soon as they come out. Now, let's take an example from the past. There have been other political detainees in Nigeria who raised similar complaints about health. Some of you may remember cases during the military era, when political opponents or activists were locked up, and later stories came out that their health was ignored until it was too late. That history is one reason why international observers quickly raise alarm whenever someone like Kanu says, "They want to release me when I am about to die." Because they know this is not the first time such a fear has been voiced in this country. Human rights groups have already been writing reports about this current case. They point out that Nigeria has signed international agreements, like the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, which clearly say that detainees must be treated with dignity, must have access to health care, and must not be kept in inhumane conditions. When groups like Amnesty International publish their reports, it goes straight into the international press, and it shapes how other countries see Nigeria. Please my people, I know you are still following this gist, quickly hit the like button and subscribe. It helps the channel grow and also encourages me to keep giving you updates without stopping. Now, let's talk about the politics around this. You see, When international observers put pressure on Nigeria, it doesn't only affect the government's image, it can also affect foreign relations, aid, and even trade. Other governments may start asking, how is Nigeria treating people in custody? Is the rule of law being respected? And these questions can affect investment, diplomatic visits, and the way Nigeria is talked about in global forums. So Kanu's case is not just about one man in detention, it is about Nigeria's name and credibility on the international stage. And here is another important gist: many diaspora groups, especially Nigerians living abroad, have been very vocal about Kanu. They hold protests, they send petitions, they contact foreign lawmakers. In London, Washington, Brussels, you see small gatherings of Nigerians waving flags and calling for his release. These actions may look small, but when they are consistent, they build pressure. Media in those countries then start covering the story, and suddenly what looked like a domestic Nigerian matter becomes an international headline. And when that happens, Nigerian leaders cannot ignore it. Some of you may be wondering, has international pressure ever worked in cases like this before? The answer is yes, in some cases. There were moments in Nigerian history when global voices joined local voices, and the government had no choice but to change course. Sometimes detainees were released earlier than expected, sometimes courts moved faster, sometimes medical access was granted. So the role of international attention should not be underestimated. That is why Kanu's lawyers are not only writing to the DSS and the courts here, but also letting the international community know what is happening. Let me also connect this to a wider African context. Across the continent, there have been many cases where political detainees fell sick in custody. In Zimbabwe, in Uganda, even in South Africa back in the apartheid days, detention and health became huge issues. And very often, the cry of, "They want me to die inside," became a rallying point that pulled supporters together and forced authorities to act. So when Kanu makes a statement like this, it is not just emotional, it follows a long tradition of political prisoners drawing attention to their condition. But now the question is, will Nigeria listen? Will the authorities act before the situation gets worse? And will the court step in strongly enough to make sure independent medical care is given? These are the questions hanging in the air right now. And my people, I want you to answer in the comments, do you think international pressure will push Nigeria to act faster in this case? Please share your thoughts, and don't forget, like this video and subscribe if you haven't done so already, it's very important. Another interesting angle is how the public reacts inside Nigeria compared to outside. Within Nigeria, the debate is divided. Some people say, the law must take its course, no special treatment. Others say, human rights are human rights, no matter what the charges are. But outside Nigeria, the focus is mostly on rights and due process. This difference is what makes the conversation even hotter, because Nigerians abroad may see it one way, and Nigerians at home may see it another way. Let's also remember the timeline. This case has dragged on since 2021. We are now in 2025, and still no final conclusion. Every delay makes international voices louder, because they begin to ask, how long will this continue? How long will someone stay in detention without a clear outcome? These are the exact questions that make human rights groups keep Nigeria under a spotlight. If I pause here, you can already see the big picture. Kanu's statement is not only about his health, it is about trust in the justice system, about Nigeria's global reputation, and about how citizens are treated. This is why I keep saying, my people, this gist is not small at all. And if you agree with me, please, like this video and subscribe to this channel right now, because more updates are coming and I want you to hear them first from here.